Fantastic intro. Fantastic intro. John said we were going to take the conversation to the streets, by which he means we're all going to stay sitting nice inside, warm and cozy when it's cold out in the streets. Hello, it's the Statrcast.
It's fucking Baltic.
It's absolutely Baltic. Ireland is well froze, so it is. We are back with myself, Jimmy, John, as always, because you can't do this show without John. And Dino has joined us this evening, so that's wonderful.
And Gary's off watching Liverpool in the Champions League, so he won't be joining us tonight. But he will be on next week. And Jimmy, I want you
Liverpool to... Liverpool was on last night, no?
What?
Liverpool won last night.
Liverpool won last night.
Girona.
Yes, the Girona. But anyway, he's not around tonight, but he is around next Wednesday. And Jimmy, I want you to have something prepared for him because it's his birthday.
It's his what?
It's his birthday next. The next
I'll do something
next week.
I'll do something special for Gary's birthday next week. And hopefully wherever he is, skipping off work right now, he's listening to. So hi, Gary, and enjoy your last few days of your 40s.
Ouch. Anywho, what I was thinking tonight, because there's actually too much football on it at the moment, between the midweeks, the weekends, it's the Christmas season. I don't want to be looking at match weeks. What I want to do is I want to look at our team of the year so far. So, Jimmy, I know you've put together an 11 and 7 on the data, and then Dean and me, I think we have our own kind of personal 11 so far for the season, and we're going to try to agree on this by the end of this. So there's probably going to be a few arguments, so I'm just going to jump straight right in. Goalkeepers, I have 4 who I reckon between Jimmy, Dean, and myself we're going to be looking at: Raya, Flecken, Onana, and Pope. Them's the 4.
So the first thing is, obviously, due to a recent Tlug legal kerfuffle, obviously I'm opposed to having any goalkeepers, and I will at any point take any opportunity to have fewer goalkeepers. It's interesting because those names have all been knocking around a while, bar Flecken. Onana was the highest scoring last year. Nick Pope is kind of a James Ward-Prowse in his good years level, obvious pick on any fantasy team. He's always, excuse the pun, a safe pair of hands. Who else did we have in there? David Raya, was it?
David Raya, yeah.
Another safe pair of hands, and happily has a bit of backup this year at Arsenal, so he's not playing all the European and Cup games as well, since they brought him in. So that's no harm. I think Onana's probably going to be the busiest because United's defence are shit.
Onana has the most clean sheets in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
Like, he's also a busy man, so that goes to show the quality of the goalkeeper. David Raya has made some fucking massive saves. Nick Pope is probably one of the steadiest hands in football. You know you're getting a 6 to a 7 out of 10 out of him every week. I like him. And Flecken, who in probably the last month has just gone up a rung.
Brentford as a whole, I think, in the last month have kind of flying up a rung, but that is very much led from the back because Mbeumo was always
been very much going under they've been very much under the radar a bit, but I don't think people are realizing that they actually score goals and they're thereabouts.
One of the most efficient attacking teams in the league, actually, but we won't get into that today. So goalkeepers, I have picked David Raya. Dean, who have you picked?
I'm going to take on a bit out of left field here, just to get it for a bit sake of a bit of discussion. But I think, from based on just the return that he's gotten minutes played, that Quinn Keller has to be in the conversation. I'm just having a look here at his numbers. What's he got? He's got 70 points, and his points per game is 8.75, which is the same as the highest scoring keeper, who Jimmy's going to tell us in a few minutes. So he's not Costian as a full-time keeper, but I actually saw The Athletic yesterday. They were saying that Liverpool are actually thinking now they actually keep Kelleher and maybe get rid of Alisson next season. Now, obviously, take that with a grain of salt, but it's definitely been in conversations and
the problem there is they bought Virgin fella for a lot of money. The Marshvili, they've spent an awful lot of money on him for next year. So I think both of those keepers could be going. But yes, he should possibly be in the conversation, Jimmy. In the data
on points per game, points per game is an absolutely crucial metric in every other position. But because for the most part, goalies tend to be kind of 30 plus games a season for most clubs, a situation like the Kelleher-Allison thing is quite rare. As far as I know, Allison has just started training again with Liverpool, or he's back on form. Did he play last
He's
night?
playing this though.
Yeah. So Kelleher, I think the moment has been and gone there. If you had a Kelleher playing the way he played consistently, which I think is going to happen if he goes to another team, yes, absolutely. Points per game of 8 would be huge. In fact, points per game is kind of why the goalies are something I don't like this year. Do you want to know who the winners are?
I do.
So, believe it or not, there's 3 because 2 of them are on the exact same score. Number 1 goalie this season is Flecken, as drafted by Dave on 131 a quarter, and he's 8 3/4 a game, which is respectable, but it's still the lowest of the starting 11. The goalies plural on 121 points each are Raya and Pope. And again, lowest scoring player on the bench. So obviously goalies are not having a great big season. We're not seeing a lot of 0-alls, 1-0s, clean sheets, great performances. Those days are gone. Goalies are a necessary evil, but we weren't too far off there. I think Onana got a bit more glory than he should have, because I think what's probably happened to him is that in the games where he's not getting clean sheets, he's conceding quite a lot. And to me, that points to maybe a mentality issue. Well, I've let one in now. Maybe I'm not quite right between the years. I don't know. I've never stood in the sticks, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so it's Flecken with Raya and Pope on the bench, and on we go to the defenders.
Yeah, will we agree on a goalkeeper for our combined 11?
Almost definitely not. But you know what? I'm going to say for the season, it's still Pope for me. He's just fucking safe.
I'll go with Pope as well.
All right, go on, Pope. Pope it is.
Pope it is. Brilliant.
You need it to say.
I picked David Raya on my team, but Jimmy convinced me on Pope. And he's also mine. So
I mean, they have the same pluses going for them. Top half table teams, good defenses in front of them most of the time. They're going to be busy. They have the mentality. They have the fitness-ish. There's no rotation risk, despite the magnificence of the one and only Karl Dubravka. Yeah, it's the right way to go. So yeah. I see it. Cool. I see it.
Right. Will we get the left back out of the way nice and quick, because there's actually only one option in the Premier League this season, because he's been unreal. Jedi Anthony Robinson. It has to only be him at left back.
Okay. I don't speak left, right, centre for the most part. I just know the little D letter means that they hang out near the goalie. Except the little nippy ones out the edges. They go running very fast little boys on their little legs. But Anthony Robinson is one of the great thorns in my ass that I didn't get him in draft. I really, really wanted him. He's just a brilliant player. He seems to be involved in all the cool creative attacking stuff. Fulham are not terrible this year or any year. Mid-table, but very strong defensively. He's a great pick, and I have no reason to disagree with you. But do the numbers agree?
I'm not telling you. Okay, so do you just want to look at 4 defenders, or do you want to try to do this left back, right back, centre back? Dino, I know Jimmy's just going to have 4 defenders.
Just do it 4 defenders. Don't know complicated.
Okay, defenders. Yeah. There's a lot. You've obviously got Porro, Trent, Munoz, Virgil.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll do it within, the best I can, whether it's left back or whatever. But I'm not going to give like 4 right backs. Let's say they're my best defenders. If we are speaking, so we kind of agreed on Robinson. So I think one of them. Or do you want to?
I think left back is safe as houses. I think centre back is where it's like left backs in the Premier League this year are crap. It's Robinson, Digne, Davis, and Gvardiol. That's about it. And Digne
hasn't Gvardiol scored 2 goals, or is it maybe 3 even? He scored 3 goals.
Also been dreadful.
He gets his scoring right. He's got a thing. He's an anomaly in terms of statter scoring, wherein we're granting points for shots on target, and we're giving slightly more of them to defenders. And the thing about Gvardiol is that we all saw it in the game against, I want to say, City, where they were down a couple of men and they held the lads off like a siege defence for 45 minutes. Was it Arsenal? It was Arsenal. You're right. It was Arsenal. It was all the whining about dark arts, stay humble, all that shit. So what you saw was City sending their most dangerous players into the box and everybody else nipping it around in a semicircle. But the only one that takes shots from outside the box for City consistently is Gvardiol. And they are on target, and he keeps picking points up that way. So when you see him get these high returns, it's clearly not because of an amazing City
What he's
defense,
doing
because
the
they
other
don't
end.
have one. It's what he's doing the other end. Yeah.
I think that it's still Robinson for me at left back. He's been fucking phenomenal this year. But I'm also biased, but yes, Guardiola is also in the combo. I think the centre backs are solid, easy picks this year.
I think so.
Pedro
Yes.
and
Who are you saying?
I'm gonna
Pedro Porro.
Right back.
right back.
Oh,
We're gonna have
right
trouble
back.
at right back.
I mean, right back. I'm thinking it has to be Trent. No, like
I don't think it is. I actually said Porro as well in my team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think
I would lean
statistically,
towards Porro just because he's been there more consistently. Trent has had his little bit of downtime, so it remains to be seen. Liverpool maintaining this form will mean that Trent surpasses Porro, but that's a big if.
But the strongest right back in the league right now is Munoz. By the data. I assume he's in the data.
I'm not giving away the data 11 until we have our line up the back, gentlemen.
Porro, Munoz, right back. Trent has to be in the combo. Trent's been very good this season, but he did have an injury.
He did. And the points per game are off the charts there. Sure, look, we're going to need a couple of big lads at centre half as well, aren't we?
Well, I think one of those is basically signed, sealed, delivered, right?
100%. Yeah.
He's been
there is no
time at like again.
Yeah, that one's a no-brainer. But here's the tricky question, lads, because this panel demands a substitute defender.
Well,
Who's
we also
the other
need
big man at the back?
Well, if we're going by a back four, I was looking at a back four. I was between Gabriel and Nathan Collins were the two standouts for me this season. I also want some Irish representation in there, but he's also been very, very good. But Gabriel has also been class.
So are we saying...
I'd probably say Gabriel over him. I'm pretty sure Gabriel's also scored a goal or two. I'm not sure if Nathan Collins has. I don't know, but yeah, for me it would be Gabriel. But I do suppose, considering the team that Nathan Collins is in, the way his performance has been also fantastic. So yeah, God, I'm after mixing myself up now.
I'll tell you what, lads. I'm scanning this team down as we go. We'll say 6 defenders for now, and maybe we won't want any more midfielders or strikers because everybody loves defenders, right?
Stop that.
Do you know what I'm going to do, right? I'm gonna for now just leave the 2 boys on the bench just as we go, and we'll see how many players we have at the end of this and do some stripping back maybe.
So it's Gabriel.
So what does the data say? The data says we are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Munoz, Van Dijk, and Porro on the bones of 10 points a week each, with Nick Collins just outside that, 9.65. Munoz and Van Dijk both playing for the Jolly Rogers. Porro is my Rostitute's only on-field entry from the draft, and Collins again belonging to Dave. So once again, the lowest scoring players. It's not quite as simple as back to front because the real juicy meat is in midfield. But again, defenders not having a great season. I was actually surprised that there's only 2 of them over 10 points per game. And when you consider we're seeing winning point scores of like 150, 60, 70 this year, 10 points doesn't really cut it, only re-emphasizes the importance of a deep bench. The other thing is, once you go past the top 20 in the defenders, it is a freaking wasteland. Because the big tough lads who are having all the impact on the game are doing it by collecting ankles. They're not doing it by swinging in high crosses. You know what I mean? We're not talking big lads heading in corners unless they play for Arsenal. Or actually Wolves, or well, not Wolves, West Ham. But that aside, it's not a great year for defenders. But yeah, you guys were absolutely spot on there. The ones you named are all way up there. So we have a selection problem already, and we're not even into the midfield. So let's go to the argumentative hell that is midfield. Yeah, it's where all the rock stars live.
It's where all the rock stars live. Like I'm looking at it here. So you're looking at Palmer, Saka, Bowen, Iwobi, Madison, Bruno, McNeil, McTomo. they're all busy boys.
Yep.
I think after Cole Palmer's 4 goals that he got earlier in the year, he just got to be the number 1 pick. Like, if you're drafted, if we're doing the draft right now,
he's pick 1.
Or between him and Salah, but we're talking about midfielders. But yeah, if you have to pick a midfielder first, I think he's number 1 ahead of Saka. He's just like a superstar. Like, he's unbelievable.
He is, and
he's still in that City team.
I think he's the only player. If we were to agree, like, he's the only player who's not going to be an argument between any of us being picked. He's arguably the player of the year.
I disagree.
And Salah.
Okay, well, now there's 2. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, now I agree.
They'll be the 2.
Yeah, can we just slot those 2 in right now, just to avoid any doubt? Salah and Palmer.
Just get that done.
But interestingly, we have room for at most another 3 midfielders in the starting lineup, and I will be very curious to hear how you pick them.
One has to be Saka. Saka has... I'm not a big fan of him in a way, but he's really, really good. And I think the reason why I'm not a big fan of him is because he plays for Arsenal, and I don't like Mikel Arteta, and he's tired with the same brush. Because he's really good. And he's got that Arjen Robben thing of, I'll just drop the shoulder and put the ball into the back stick. No questions asked. And it's very much becoming Thanos-esque. Fucking inevitable.
I understood that right.
Silva Palmer, quality. They're both in the starting lineup. If we're talking somebody after that, then midfield wise,
it will be for me.
Like James Maddison for me is in unreal form. I think he's in, like, he scored a couple of goals there a couple of weeks ago. Like, he's putting a few. I think he's in the best form of his since he's been at Spurs anyway the past few years. But yeah, I really like him this season, James Maddison. Who are you saying, John?
Iwobi, I think, is probably the most underappreciated player in the Premier League this season. Like, he watched quite a bit of Fulham, and he moves position basically game to game, depending on. He's Marco Silva's like multi-tool player. One day he'll play as like a double 6 alongside Sanderberg. The next day he's playing on the left wing, dovetailing with Anthony Robinson and Emil Smith-Rowe out there. The next day he's playing as a 10. The next day he's playing as a right wing back, and he's been bloody fucking excellent in every single one of them because he runs like a bastard and he gets involved in everything.
So I'm going to float a question now. Now that we currently have 10 players picked, right? Mm-hmm. We have no one from Manchester, and we have 2 Fulham players. So I guess my question is, do we want, I don't know, small names like Kevin De Bruyne or Erling Haaland or Brian Mbeumo or Bruno fucking Fernandes? Or do we want to hang on to Alex Iwobi?
Well, no, because we're talking about the team of the season. We're talking past tense, as in performances that they've already had. And that's like...
Kevin De Bruyne can't be in that conversation based on form this season.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was looking with a view to wonderfully leaving my mad laboratory, going to my DeLorean, going back to draft night and going, Cav, this is who you want to pick up for the whole season. Because now that De Bruyne is back, De Bruyne is going to finish top 5.
De Bruyne's going to De Bruyne this season as his little swan song, I think. Now, if he stays fit, he will go on. He's going to do what Salah's doing and do his lap of honour on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
However, if we're looking at the team of the year so far, I would pick Jared Bowen and Alex Iwobi ahead of Kevin De Bruyne, based on how they've played so far this season. Jared Bowen has been the only thing happy about West. He's been the only thing happy about West Ham this year. They have been awful. They've been so bad. I know, like, obviously very unfortunate circumstances for Antonio during the week, but both they've been awful.
So are we saying Bowen makes the bench?
Maybe don't sack a manager who gets you your first ever European Cup. I don't know.
Is Bruno and James Maddison have to? So we have Palmer and Saka in, right? And how many slots do we have here, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, we can take as many as we want, but there's only at the moment we're playing a 4-4-2. Right. What I
So
have
who do
so
we
far
have
is
who do we have in from the midfield? We have Palmer, Saka.
Palmer, Saka, Iwobi, and I heard a call from Madison, who I have to agree has been outstanding on a really strong attacking point scoring team. And I
Bruno
also
has to be in that
think that
conversation as well.
he does have to be in that conversation. But I'm going to push hard for Madison simply because we didn't go with Paro. We went with Trent and Munoz. So I think Spurs deserve a player in there because they're
We
just
went
a
for
really
Paro.
lovely team to watch. Okay, so now
I
we have
think-
three
I think
sub defenders.
Madison as well.
No, the team I have here. Actually, Joe and Jimmy, list out what you have because I think
Robinson, Gabriel, Alexander, Arnold, Van Dijk starting with Collins, Munoz, and now Paro on the bench. I have Palmer, Saka,
No, I
Iwobi,
think
and
you were right.
Madison.
You're right. Sorry, you were right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Palmer,
the
Saka,
midfield
Iwobi,
then-
Madison, and I think Fernandez or Bowen even on the bench. So we now
Saka,
have room
Madison,
for. You can throw in Bruno Fernandez. That's absolutely fine, but it will leave us space for one more starting striker and one sub striker, and that's fine by me.
I think Bruno has to be in there. I might be wrong, but I think the forwards this year are actually quite light. Like Salah is the standout. I think the forwards are quite light in terms of like your standout forwards in the Premier League this season. And like credit to him are the likes of Cunha and Nicholas Jackson, but they're not the powerhouses of
Nicholas
the
Jackson is actually having a great season.
He's having a
I
great
feel
season.
like he got a very bad rap last season, and of course the entire squad deserved to get a bad rap last season. But God, he is having like a renaissance or something. Like he is having such a good season. Do you know what? I'd nearly put him up next to fucking Salah.
Jackson, I'd probably put Cunha ahead of him though.
Hello, it's me, Chris Wood.
Yeah.
Which one's he's having a dry spell the past like 3 weeks or so, isn't he? He hasn't done much.
Yeah, but I thought we were
like,
just doing the last 15 weeks. He's the third highest scorer in the league this year.
Is he?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna fact check myself.
No,
not
he's
sure now.
not. No, he's not. He's not even top 5 of the forwards anymore.
Really?
Yeah, he's had a dry spell over the
Oh,
past
Jesus.
month.
There's
or
a
so.
fella who's underappreciated, Brian Mbuemo.
Oh, he's had a
Lord.
very good
No,
season.
Third in the forwards, and he's been very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Chris Wood
actually
is the
been very,
fourth
very
highest scorer of this year, behind Salah and Haaland at 13 each, Palmer on 11, Chris Wood on 10, and then Brian Mbuemo and whatever his first name is, Wissa, on 9 apiece. So I guess I have to use my favorite phrase. Who puts the thing in the hole, John? And there's
Who are you
Erling
talking
Haaland
about?
with his 13 goals in 15 weeks.
Oh yeah, but didn't he get 6 of those goals in 2 weeks?
In the first 2
You
games.
know?
Sure, and in a head-to-head league, that's a problem.
I mean, like, yeah, but I know, but you know, if he's got the same amount of goals as Salah, so by your logic, you're saying that there's like an argument to be had between them. But like, no,
He scored
Salah
most
all
of them
that.
he scored most of them in the first 3 games.
Yeah. So I don't.
Very bad on the
If
season.
we're talking the best players that have been in the best form since the season started, not who you want to pick for the rest of the season.
Okay.
It's easy
Okay.
to see
Well,
that
that's
Haaland has been off the boil for a bit, and but what about
So we've
Son? Jungmin Son? Is he in the conversation?
Is he though? Is he?
He's spending a lot of time
Has he-
playing further back. The end of last season and the start of this season, he was spending a lot more time deeper down the pitch in more of a leadership role, and Ange came to his senses and pushed him forward the last few weeks, and he's been stellar. But that's a story of two halves as well. First half of the season was very quiet for him. I would also
that
point
you
out,
say
gentlemen, we have 2 slots
John
left for
Durant.
4 names so far.
But you don't.
I'm seeing
John
Cunha,
Durant-
Jackson, and Wayne Wood.
Sorry.
So based on, yeah, I mean, okay, no, I take Jackson out of the conversation just because Wood is not in forwards and Cunha is, they're much lower level teams that are probably in better form than him. I think that it's between Mbembo and Cunha. I just think that over the past like 3 or 4 games, Wood hasn't really Wood. Like, let me have a look here.
Could you have both of them? Waymo
We could, but
and
we're
Cunha?
gonna have to move one to the bench, or we could do the unthinkable and drop Alex Iwobi You see the way
God,
I
I
keep
kinda
saying
lie
drop
about
Alex
Wood.
Iwobi?
Fine, remove. Even though I think he's still criminally underrated this season.
Oh wait, we can't because then our lineup's illegal. We have to have a sub striker, don't we, Dean?
I need to see what this squad is looking like because if we're looking at team of the season so far,
It
like
is
Jimmy's
on the way,
data one,
gentlemen.
I want to see Jimmy's data one versus what we've gone with because I don't know. Like, is Ollie Watkins in the conversation for striker? Is Brennan Johnson in the conversation for striker? He's like Brennan Johnson scored what?
Johnson's
7
in.
He,
But
he-
Johnson actually isn't. Is he striker though?
yeah, he's a forward.
Are you sure?
He's a
maybe he
forward.
is, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. There's definitely been an argument between me and Johnson. God.
Like when he's been fit, has been very, very good. But again, as per you, it seems to be the thing with him. He has very weak hamstrings.
See, like you've got this kind of like balance between lower level teams with strikers who are overperforming, and then strikers who are on the higher level who are kind of performing at what you would expect. Like Chris Wood has 10 goals. Like, you know, I mean, yeah, you could maybe and he scored in every second game.
Yes, show us where we're at.
Okay, well, let me show you first what we have, which is this window here.
This window right here, you said.
This window right here. Yes, this is the one. So that's not bad. Would you like to see?
That's
what
not
we
bad.
have done? It's not bad at all. Like that team
Like,
wins
now,
the
to be
league.
fair, you probably would need to take out Iwobi for Jackson.
No, you would take Iwobi and Robinson out for Fernandez and Bowen, and you'll have a fucking 3-5-2 because midfielders are quantifiably better than defenders.
In terms of your squad.
Oh, in squad, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Lineup wise, I hate fourth back.
Do we all agree? So drop Iwobi and bring in Nick Jackson. I would.
Jackson or Johnson?
Jackson or Johnson? Who would you lean for, Dean? Jackson.
I do really like Johnson.
I like Johnson, but I think it's
go on, yeah, Jackson. So go on, yeah.
Jackson. It is. All right, now you want to see how we did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we feeling confident that we got the right players? That we didn't miss anyone really freaking obvious?
I don't think we missed anybody obvious. Like, obviously, Erling Haaland by the date is going to be in there, but he's been crap.
Yeah.
Well, here is the right answer. So, we were pretty close. And pretty much everybody we talked about is in here somewhere, and everyone who got to our team got mentioned from this pool. But there is one glaring omission there, and it's a guy that we've talked about so often on here about being stuck in on a shite team on shite days, getting shite results. When that's not enough, they get points taken off him. It's McNeil. It's Dwight McNeil, who's been banging away at 14 points per week.
Wow.
Now, there was an injury, which is what's kept him out of the starting lineup.
Yep.
But at that form, he is as good as almost any other player in the league, with the obvious two exceptions. The only men there breaking 20 points per week are Cole Palmer and Mo Salah, which is just staggering when you think about what you need to do to rack up 20 points in this game.
Yeah.
Like, when you consider like the level of involvement of a defender to get 10 points in a week is only coming from Munoz and Van Dijk. Palmer's doubling that. Salah's doubling that. Like, it's just outstanding. Haaland, unfortunately, is the second highest scoring scoring striker of the year.
Doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it, but I think the problem that he has is that the only context for Erling Haaland is last year's Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Like any other year, he's performing the way Aguero did in the first half of the season for City, but nobody cares because he's not scoring 40. You know what I mean? And they're not winning games either, and he's been acting a bit of a prick too. So, you know, it doesn't feel like it, but he's still there. Great call on Jared Bowen, John. A lot of interesting stuff here in terms of standout players for mediocre teams. You know, Cunha, McNeil, Iwobi, sorry, John, Munoz, Bowen, even to a degree, Nick Pope, because there isn't a lot of joy at Newcastle this year. Isaac's on and off the bench.
There is not a lot of joy in a few teams this year. Newcastle and West Ham, there's not a lot to smile about being early.
Not a lot of happy stuff going on. So I went a little bit further with this, as I do, and I decided to have a look at the breakdown of who's on what team. Because as we all know, football is well and good, but fantasy football is life. So what I did was I got the breakdown of which of us has drafted the most of these top drawer players. And there it is. Now that's the squad draft. Can you see that, boys? Yeah, there's Dave with 6 of them. And sitting in third place. And then it's the brothers Kavanagh on 3 each. Although I will point out 9 of the top 11 are picked by those top 3 teams. In fact, this is pretty much the rundown of the table. My Rasta Hughes and Bilbo Baggins on 2 each. Craigie Naggins, Draft Punk, Old Republic on 1. That's your top of the bottom half. And then down in the crayons this year is Kim and Jack. Kim, who is perpetually confused and just pick whoever's Spanish. And Jack, to be fair, it was his first year drafting, so he may not have an eye for those long-term gems. I do have one question, though, and it's for our illustrious co-host, Dean. Throw your mind back to the hot, sweaty night of the draft. If memory serves, you picked Dave's squad.
Me?
No.
Did you not? Or was
I arrived in halfway through the draft.
No, Dave was auto pick. Was it Dave was auto pick or was it
Dave? I think John picked my team and Dave
we helped with Dean's. I had say on Dean's team and we communally picked Dean's team based on what we know Dean would like to pick for Dean. Which
that makes more sense. Because if you had for yourself picked one of the best 17 players and 6 for Dave, it would just be something very special. But obviously that's not what's happened. So well,
the fact that auto picked 6 for Dave, I might just not show up next year and just let auto pick my team.
It is a moment of shame for the men of the league that auto pick is absolutely trouncing us. But remember, it's not. He's not in
the table though.
He's in third place in the table. I'm 6 points ahead of him now, and 6 points behind Dermot. But the top 3 is the top 3, and 12 of the top 17 goes a long way. You could fiddle that around just a little bit, and you'd have the league table as it stands. And it is starting to settle just a little bit. So
it is starting to settle. You have Joey and Dino just behind me, but I'm just behind Dave. So
I've been having that
behind Dave. The 3 cleared the 2 boys.
Guess what I'm going to share next? It's the league table. It's the league table. We can have a quick state of the league.
And then can we do the thing? Can we do the thing then? Because I love
absolutely.
The thing and I want to hear your song about the thing today. But yes, anyway, throw us up the table and then we can get the quiz and then we can get out of here.
Here it is. Going top to bottom very, very quickly. Jolly Rogers managed to lose a game last week to Gary, which I don't think anybody was too sad about. Nice to see my brother's wings clipped. Only his 2nd defeat of the season, and he got absolutely whacked. Second place is myself on my best hot streak this year. 5 wins in a row, so that's fine. It was a bit of a takedown of... Who was it last week? Who was my victim? Poor old Joey had a bit of a nightmare. Like, I had a good score, but Joey just didn't really get out of the blocks this week. Dave, the auto pick there with a win and 30 points. John dropped back to 24.
I lost to Dave.
You lost to Dave.
Yeah. I lost to Dave literally because of Wolves.
And look what's happening just behind you. Joey and Dino, a couple of veterans. The 2 men you do not want in your rearview mirrors climbing up behind you in the table for that desirable 4th playoff spot. And then it gets a bit messy. Damo, Draft Punk, 18 points. Not much happening there. Another loss this week. Not a bad one, but still a good win for Dean. Very important 3 points there. Jack with a crucial win over Kim. Gary, unfortunately, dropping into the Harrison positions despite winning this week. And Kim is in her happy place at the very bottom of a pile of hairy men. So that's the league so far.
Is that possibly the worst streak in league history. 10
I
losses in a
think
row.
we're verging into worst streak in league.
Surely
history.
nobody else has lost that many games in a
Well,
row.
the transfer she did with
Even-
Declan Rice a few weeks back, with Savio for Declan Rice, that was just plain stupid. And
Yeah.
dealing with Gary, you should have known better.
She also gave away Ollie Watkins, I believe. My theory is she wants to be under the pile of men. But also, to her credit, she has been more involved the last couple of weeks, and her actual points scored are improving. So you never know. She could pull something back yet, but I'm not betting on it. Derby County 2004, spring to mind. But yeah, that's the league, and it's looking beautiful.
And Jack will pass Dean by the new year, I think. But
I think so, unless Dean passes you.
But anyway,
right, this week, right, the hair's down, and I don't have any musical instruments because you wanted me to save something special for Gary. So this week we've got the polo neck and the hair down. We're not going to do a jingle. We're going to do some deep poetry.
oh no,
Okay.
oh no.
The day is over, the evening long. What's that there? His name is John. He's got a quiz of lovely questions. Do the fucking quiz, John. Now, it will never be that pretentious again.
I don't
Probably.
know. I think I'd love like.
I could hang on a second. Would you like a? Hang on. We've got these.
Oh.
Do the quiz, John. Do the quiz, John. Do the quiz, John.
Thank you. All right. The rules as they are. I have 10 questions and 10 questions only in event of a
Do you have the score written down, Pat? Or John? What's the score again? Is it 3-2-2 or something? Or 4-2-2 to Gary?
4-2-2.
Okay.
So you've got a chance to close the gap. And then it's a little table-topping week for Wannabe on his birthday to ruin his joy. So there's that. Anyway, 10 questions, unless there's a tiebreaker when it's going to be 11 questions, but we've never used the tiebreaker yet. You get an opportunity to come back in if you both get it wrong. That's about it, and let the normal chaos ensue. Who's the only team that got promoted last season that is not currently sitting in the drop zone?
Leicester.
Ipswich.
No, Leicester, Jimmy 1-0. In Statter, which player scored the least amount of points last week? And yes, I am including minus figures because I think you're all guessing.
What's his name? I know this. Oh my God, it's hurting my heart. I know this.
Got -6.
I'm thinking of last week, am I? Where somebody
-6.
managed to plant the ball in his own net twice.
Somebody got -6 last week. That's all I'm saying.
Milenkovic.
No. Dean, opportunity to.
Oh, wasn't there an own goal? Or was there an own goal? I can't remember. Fuck.
Come on, Dean. I'm going to have to put you on a timer until I let Jimmy come back in.
Hall?
Who?
Hall for Newcastle?
No. So you're both back in. You're both going to be sick when you hear this one as well. This is a great start to the quiz. First question.
-6. What big victories were there last year?
-6.
-6. Just while you both tried to rack your brain.
No straight reds.
Who'd you say?
No straight reds last week. I said there was no reds last week.
There was not there, but there was a couple of horrible performances. I will give you, while you figure this out, I will give you your Fabian Schär update. He was 9th from bottom with a -3.25 last week. I had that noted in the
Bring him back in, Dino. You know you want to.
Was it Sar or Basuma?
No. Jimmy, last chance.
Who the hell was it? Who the hell got a -6 last week?
Womp.
It's someone we have.
Oh, yeah.
Someone took this pain out of our crew.
Yes.
Wait. Yes, it was Andrew Onana.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
2-0 Jimmy. Question 3, and they're my favorite questions because you'll fucking hate them. The career path question. Every week. I have played for Tottenham, QPR, Portsmouth, Villa, Southampton, Liverpool, Portsmouth, Spurs, Stoke, and Burnley.
Danny Ings.
No.
Adebayor?
No.
Peter Crouch.
Peter Crouch.
Oh, nice.
Peter Crouch. I had to go back to Harry Redknapp's Portsmouth after being at Liverpool. Anyway, speaking of Spurs, from what club did Tottenham purchase Son Heung-min from?
Dortmund?
No.
Atletico.
No.
I can actually remember watching it on Sky when it was announced that he was signed.
If it helps, will I give you the country that he signed from?
Yeah.
Germany.
Leverkusen.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say
4
that,
from
but I
4,
thought-
lads.
4.
Am I a football man now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yay!
He was signed for 30 million euros from Leverkusen. Question 5. Who currently has the most assists in the WSL?
No.
I don't know whether Jimmy's frozen or he's just really thinking
Pensive.
very quick.
I'm thinking very hard. I do not know. I've been keeping my eyes on the top line stats over in the WSL season, not the assists, which is a foolish game. A foolish game.
Will I give you the answer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lauren Hemp with 5 for City. She's behind.
Yeah.
And in joint second for the assists is Katie McCabe with 3.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah. Now, there you go. Who's the youngest player to reach 100 Premier League goals?
What do you call that young fella? What was his name? Wayne Rooney.
No.
Alan Shearer?
No. Good, solid shout, but both of them, but no.
Gary
Is it Mo?
Lineker?
Who'd you say, Jimmy?
Is it Mo?
No, both of you are wrong. Youngest player to score 100. I'll get Joe. I'm going to let this run for a minute because this is fun for me.
Oh no, it's not the robot, is it? He's not at 100, is he?
Peter Crouch.
Erling Haaland.
Oh, Erling Haaland. He's over. He's verging on the 100 now.
Oh,
Harry
I wasn't
Kane?
sure if he was there.
Harry Kane, no.
Fuck.
Harry Kane spent a bit of time in his young career on loan in the Championship. Where he played for
Cristiano.
Millwall. No. You get one more chance each, and then I'm going to give it to you because Jesus, lads, when you hear it, you're going to be like, "Holy shit!"
Thierry Henry?
No.
No, didn't think so.
No, I got nothing.
Michael Owen.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Michael Owen, who was godly.
He was.
I-
I don't think
I
people
know-
really realise how good he truly was. Like, he was
He won the Ballon d'Or.
If he hadn't
I no
fucking
longer
gotten
feel like a
injured,
football man.
he...
Like for his first couple of years at Liverpool, he was a fucking stun player. Went to Madrid, did very well there for about a year, and then the hamstring started going. Went to Newcastle, everybody hated him. Tried to go back to Liverpool. That didn't happen. Went to Man United. Won the Premier League at Man United and not at Liverpool. And now both sets of fans hate him. What a very unfortunate career he had in the end. Which team tops the rankings for the best chance conversion so far this season? Basically, who is the most efficient attacking team?
Brentford.
In the Premier League? Brentford. 17.9.
Yeah.
Dean,
Scary good.
you have officially lost the quiz. 6 questions in. That's 7 questions in, and it's 5-0 to Jimmy.
Yeah, that was shit.
I'm going to ask you the other. I'm going to ask you the other questions because I took the time to read them. Cole Palmer recently entered a historic list of players who've scored 12 or more consecutive penalties. But can you tell me who scored the most consecutive penalties with 23?
Jesus Christ.
I don't expect you to get this, might I add.
Matt Letizia.
Yeah, by a fucking distance.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm surprising myself tonight. I really am.
Well, like, to put it into context, the 2 next players on the list, whose both their streaks are broken, might I add, are Mo Salah and Harry Kane with 15.
Fuck.
So the best current streak is Cole Palmer with 12. So he's got a long way to go to catch the Tiz.
Yeah.
Which team has the most goals from substitutes this season?
Newcastle.
No.
Aston Villa?
No.
Arsenal.
No.
Really? Trossard springs to mind.
Brentford?
No. No.
Brentford?
No.
Oh, God, it's Brighton.
No. Brighton are second, though.
Yeah, it's Joe Pedro's doing.
Do you know what? It's Fulham.
They're in there every week, aren't they?
I managed to slot them in somewhere. But yes, it would be Fulham. Harry Wilson with a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Adama coming in a couple of times. Pereira coming into games. Reece Nelson. So, yeah. Well, it's skewed by Harry Wilson's recent double week. And then went back into Heidi Holy. But yeah, Villa were up there with John Duran earlier in the season, and he's very much gone back to where he belongs and sitting on the bench doing note. Tis what it is. And that's about it. That's the quiz. That's 10 questions. That's 6-0 to Jimmy, and it's 4-3-2 on the match card, which means that Jimmy, it'll be you next week who has to knock Gary off his fucking perch. Which
I have to say,
that week
after a 6-0 victory, I'm feeling a little more confident than I would usually. Kind of wish Gary was here now because I would have beaten him tonight. It was never going to be easy. We obviously it was going to be difficult. Like Dean's never an easy game. Never makes it easy for us. But we dug deep, came together in the second half. Sorry, should I? Yeah, no, I'll stop. Yes, congratulations to me.
Fuck you, Jimmy. 0 points for Jimmy. Do you know what? Just as is league culture, I believe that's 0 points to Jimmy, and we're just gonna reset that one.
Yeah, my lineup is illegal. Just mine though. Shenanigans. It's a beautiful thing, this league. It's a beautiful thing. Shall we bid adieu to the wonderful people of the internet and say good night to you all? You foul buggers,
so.
you.
We will be back next week for the
Christmas special
run. Christmas special. Shit. Do we need to actually get them all on if we can?
Yes. Oh, I think so. I think so. As many Tlugs as possible on the one podcast. It's going to blow minds while at the same time it's going to jingle your bells. Tune in.
I've got some organizing to do. Right. Bye.
Bye.